Hello everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. Today is Total Experiment Day. So my friend and neighbor in the next community over, she has been posting a few things on Facebook and I thought they were super cool. So I asked her what she was doing. So she brought me over some gifts. She bought this Green Stuff World crackle paint. It's in 3 colors. Well, I'm not going to say colors. This one she says dries clear. This one is like well, I'll show you. It's called Mojave Mud Crack, and this one is called the Badlands. This one is called Winterfell Plains. And she's been experimenting with this, and she had some pretty cool things. So I did 2 tiny things with them, and it's a crackle paint. And she's been painting them on her molds prior to pouring resin, and it picks it up in the resin perfectly. So here's 2 little examples. This is the color of the Mojave Mud Crack, and this is the Badlands. I didn't do that one. So what we're going to do is see if we could do it on a larger scale. This one, since it dries clear, I'm going to do one in clear, and then I'm also going to see if we can color it. So I pulled out some mica powder. I didn't want to put like alcohol ink in it. I didn't know if it was going to seize up or anything. So we're going to just put some powder in there, and we're going to make some coasters and see what they look like. So let me just, I see a little bit of sparkle in this that I don't want. So what I'm going to do is just what I noticed on the little pendants that I did is you have to put a decent amount of paint onto your mold, and you have to let it dry thoroughly. Like I let them dry overnight. I don't know if they have to dry overnight, but the more you let it dry, the more I noticed the crackle effect. And then it was, by the time I got back to it, it had been a few days. I'm not going to do it a few days today because I need to get a video out for you. So what I'm going to do is just start painting these on. Let me find a paint brush, and I'm going to put a decent amount on, and hopefully we'll get a good crackle. And if it comes out well, then I'm going to try to figure out something to finish them off with. I probably should have waited until it was dry, but I thought it was dry. But that's okay because we want it to crackle like it's going to do, and the silicone I think helps it. But definitely you want enough of this paint. She had to order this online. I don't know if it came from Amazon or if it came somewhere else. I will try to find a link for you and see if I can get okay, I'm just gonna let that do its thing. It's gonna take a while, so I'm gonna wash out my paintbrush. It's not gonna do it before our eyes, unfortunately. It does take some time. I'm just gonna grab a different paintbrush, and let me do the clear one first. And then I will add some, it goes on white, and then I guess she said it dries clear. But I would say if you don't have a good enough layer, don't go pouring resin because all you're going to see is the paint. I would just wash it off and try again and see how it crackles. See, that one's separating already. So let me pour some of that into a little cup here. I don't know anything about if we can color it or not. I asked her if she ever tried, and she didn't. She's never tried to color it. So I'm going to try. So let's see if it works. That would be kind of cool if you can get a color to crackle like this, or a paint to crackle, I should say. And the reason she said she likes these ones, although I think it comes in one more color, but she couldn't get it because it's a one-step process. I don't know anything about crackle paints, so I'm guessing there's 2-step process maybe out there, not sure. So since my paintbrush is already with the white, I don't know if this is gonna crackle with the powder in it or not. It seems to be separating on the silicone for me already. Which is kind of cool. It looks like a web effect. That one's not doing the same thing, but this one is giving me like a little web effect. I just want to get my paint spread. And that could be from the silicone, I'm not sure. I got too much paint in here, I think. All right, I'm going to just do the Mojave Mud Crack. See, that one looks pretty cool. This one's starting to look pretty cool. That one, nothing yet. And I'm not sure what color I'm gonna back them with. Probably black, just so we could see the effect better. I stuck a ball bearing in here just so it could mix up nicely for me. So this is going to separate too. For some reason that dark one isn't separating nicely on the silicone. All right, those are done. I'm going to go clean my brushes and come back when everything is completely dried. It's been like a day and a half. This is where I'm at with these. I don't know if I'm doing this right. Like I said, I just seen pictures of Jane's and Jane did it nicely. So I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. So if you hold this up, I don't know if you could see, if you hold this up to the light, you could see all the crackle. What I don't know is all these brush marks, if they're going to affect it, but it is crackled. And the same with this one. It's crackled if you hold it in the sunlight. Not the entire thing, but a lot of it is. The one that I colored, not so much. This is the one I put the mica powder in. And then this one, it's not crackled, it's more like a web effect. And this is clear. So in my head, if I pour resin over clear, you're not gonna see that. So I took my little finger and put a little mica powder on there. So what I think I'm gonna do with this one, I may not even pour it if I ruin it. I think I'm gonna brush this blue on and see if it sticks to all the painted parts. I don't know, because I want to be able to see what we just did. Maybe it will, but maybe it won't. I'm not sure how it's going to come out. I mean, you could, this one is the coolest one, even though it's not crackle. I like the web design, but I really wanted crackle. And I don't know if I'm just gonna see all blue when I pour this, because I really don't have a way of cleaning out the areas. See, I'm just filling all that in with blue. I don't know that I'm gonna pour this one because I don't really want a blue coaster. Let me see. I hate to waste resin for no reason. I mean, it's got a really cool design if you can only just get it. And the parts that are crackling are now moving with my brush. And I can see at an angle that there's blue all over the whole thing. Of course there is, but well, let's just do it anyway. Maybe I can fix it? I don't know. This might be a total disaster failure. And then I'm thinking what colors, because I think I'll do some white and some black and just see what happens. I've got 12 ounces mixed, and I think I'm just going to pour 3 ounces in each one. I think they hold more than that, but I already feel like this is going to be a failure, so I don't really want to put 4 ounces in each one if I don't need to. But if they're savable, I'll just top coat them. So one, I'm going to do black, which is this yellowish one. because I don't think you're going to see the white behind it, only because that's what I did on my little tiny pendant over there. I tried it, I don't know, about 2 weeks ago, and I put white behind it, and you can't really tell the crackle on it. So I'm going to do black on it this time. The other ones, I just pulled out my mother of pearl. I wanted white, but I don't know. I wanted a little shimmer, so that was closest to me, so I grabbed the mother of pearl. And I'm not going to mess around with my vacuum chamber because I don't think it's going to make a difference on these. And I can't spray them with alcohol either, so there could be bubbles. I don't know. I feel like this is a total disaster, but let's finish this total disaster. Watch, I'll have extra. Yes, I do. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, so I made too much. They hold less than 3 ounces each. So now I have a whole bunch of extras. I can't spray that with alcohol because I filled it too much. And it's just gonna go over the edges, so I will just take my lighter, way overfilled it. So the rest of this, let me wipe my stick off. So now I have extras to work with. I did not expect that. I thought these held 4 ounces. I better get a new stick. That's not gonna work. For the white, I'm going to put my powder in a small cup. And mix it in here first, so I don't have unmixed mica powder. And figure out what I'm going to do with all these extras now. So get it mixed up really, really well in your little cup. Get it all dissolved in here, and then pour it into your larger cup and then mix it again. And hopefully you won't have any little pieces that hit the bottom. Not that you're gonna see it in these, but you just never know. Better get in the good habit. If I'm trying to get in this habit, sometimes I forget and I pay the price for it. So I'm trying really hard to start a new habit of doing it in my little cup first. That looks pretty good. I'm just going to add it to my big cup over here. And now I'm going to have black and white left over. And I really hope these aren't total disasters. If they are, I will be referring back to Jane to see exactly what I'm doing wrong. I'm sure she's watching this going, no, don't do it like that. Okay, let's pour these and see what happens. I'm also already trying to figure out my plan B to save them, but that's not quite determined yet until we see how they are. Not too sure about this one. I think it's just all going to be blue and you're not going to see that web effect. And this one, I have a feeling it's all going to be just brush marks. Might as well fill them all up since I have it now. All right, let me see what I have left. I will pour something with it. I I have 2 ounces. I have enough to do a little character. Let me go find him. Since I had 2 ounces left, I quickly pulled out my chrome powders. This one is holographic pink, and this one is gold. And I put it into my little elk moose, whatever you want to call him, the gold and the pink. And I'm going to fill it with the white. I think I had 2 ounces left of this. I hope it was 2 ounces. So I'm just going to fill it. I'm not sure you could see me, but I should have just enough. Okay, I got him full. I haven't used the chrome with white before, so this would be interesting to see. And there should be just enough of the white to do his antlers. If not, I'll use the black. So, if I have a complete fail on the coasters, at least we know we're going to have a cute elk in the end. All right, I'm going to figure out something to do with the black, and then we'll be back on demold. Well, they're all ready to unmold. I want to see what a disaster I have to work with under these 4. So let's do the extras first. So I used my chrome powders on this little angel guy, the blue one. I think the light blue one. We'll see how he does. He's not a shiny mold, so I missed some of his head. I missed some of the feathers. It's a little hard to get in there, but it's okay. Now this mold I made myself. I got my X tool in. You don't have a video on it yet because I'm still working out the details and trying to figure out the software, but I figured out how to make some molds, and I'm working on my own. So this is one of the first molds I've ever made, building my own frame and stuff. And it's just going to be like that one I probably won't sell, but it's just for me. So I painted the chrome on here. I'll drill a hole, make it a keychain or something. But yeah, that's just a test, just a little test mold to see if I kind of have the hang of it. And I poured the black and white into a bookmark. That looks pretty. And there's the back. That's the way I drew it, and then this is the way it ended up coming out, but I like this side better. So I'll finish this off somehow. And here are the antlers for the little deer guy. Those always come out pretty, that gold chrome. And then the pink deer. I do need to spray into this one. This one's always a little difficult for me. At least we'll have a cute little elk deer guy. Oh, I did a terrible job painting around his neck, but we could fix that. So I filled that with white, and white is not the best effect for the chrome. You can kind of see a holographic, so I recommend black, filling it with black. Oops, I dropped the antlers. So yeah, I will be covering up all those little spots with a necklace or something. So we will finish that off. And now for the main event. So I think this one's going to be the worst. So let's start with that one. Oh, it actually looks crackled. I mean, I could see a lot of blue. It's not a complete and utter failure. Better than I expected. So all the crackle is in clear, and the mica didn't go into the crackle, so that's actually good. That's a good surprise. This one was the other blue one with the colored mica. Yeah, as I thought. Looks like a bunch of swipe marks. Not crazy about that one. Don't know if I'm going to finish that, or if I do finish it, I'm not sure how. Here's the gray one. So you can see the crackle, but I'm not crazy about the brush marks. Not too crazy about that. So I'm gonna have to talk to Jane again, see what I did wrong. Oh, well, yeah. There's all the crackle we wanted, but there's all the brush marks. All right, let me think of something, if anything. Otherwise, we're just gonna finish the extras. Did you ever have one of those days where like whatever you tried just doesn't work? Like today is one of those days where I need to just walk away from resin, but now at this point it's the principle of the matter and I want to get it done because I'm so tired of things not working for me today. So this is pretty much, this and the little mousse are the only things that worked for me. So I just top coated this with UV resin and added a tassel. How hard was that? This little guy, because there was black showing from the pour, I just painted his body and his hair, and I put 2 magnets on. So that covered up the bad spots. So he was a save. This one, so I back coated it first, and because I put too much on and I use a thinner viscosity UV resin, it dripped down the sides. So that messed up my front. So because it messed up my front, I took my tack-it glue, put some on, put new powder all over my tack-it glue after it dried, put a piece of washi tape on here, added some sparkle dust to my UV resin, and then coated. Oh my gosh, this one little keychain took a lot of work to save it, but I think I saved it. Now this little fella, or fellette, she came out cute, so I put a little bow on her butt with a little flower, 2 different color rhinestones, one for the necklace, one for the toes, and here's her little eyes looking at the butterfly on her nose, and I just put 2 little flowers on her antlers and a little silly face on her face. So that's her. Oh, I put eyelashes on her as well. I love the eyelashes on these guys. So you will never see a male mousse from me unless somebody orders one because I love the eyelashes on them. So that is her. She worked out well. I have a save for these coasters. 2 of them are going to be a simple save, these 2, because I do like the color and I like these washi tapes that go with them. So I chose a long washi tape to cover most of those swipe marks. This one I really don't have a problem with. I really like it. So I chose a smaller washi tape, yet still in the same family. So these 2 can go together. Other 2, on the other hand, don't have washi tapes for those colors. So I'm going to do a completely different save on those. I'm not going to tell you what that is at the moment because I'm going to have to move everything in order to save those. So you might want to stick around and see what I'm going to be doing for those. So I'm just going to get these washi tapes off. I'm trying to do it without the little tape trick. I cut as close as possible. These ones are not pre-cut, so I did cut as close as possible. And you don't see it under the resin anyway, so I don't even know why I bothered. So you just gotta get it separated from the sticky part. I'm just for sake of time and for sake of frustration today, I'm top coating these 2 with UV resin. And then I'm gonna walk away for a little while and do something else. And when I come back, I'm going to attempt to save the other 2 a way I've never saved them before. So you may want to, for you it's only a second, but for me, I don't know. I need to take a little break because I'm getting frustrated. but you have to laugh it off. It's just a project. I just don't like to have failures. That's all. So we're going to try to fix them as best that we can. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to place it right here. I would love sparkle on these, but because it's so big, I'm not going to do that. The best way to do sparkle on them, which I really want, is to not use UV resin. I should just mix up some of my coating resin, the tabletop resin. That way, if you have bubbles in these, slice them out if you have to. If I use the tabletop resin, I could just mix up like an ounce and put my sparkle. I think I'll do that. I'm not going to be lazy. I'm going to do it correct. As I was mixing the resin, I noticed bubbles all along the edge of this one. So I did put tape along the edge and just wrapped it underneath in the spots that have the bubbles. So hopefully it doesn't drain there. So I've mixed up the resin. Let me just pop some bubbles in there. And I mixed in some of my rainbow shimmer. Oh my gosh, I mixed up way too much. So let's just top coat these. Hopefully we could see through them, or it's a complete fail again. We just need a tiny little coat. Once I pop all the bubbles, it'll be clear. I hand stirred this, so lots of bubbles in them. And you could use a torch since there's no mold to ruin at this point. And I mixed up so much. I mixed up 2 ounces. And you barely use any. Let me grab my torch. There's just a little hint of sparkle in there. Got so much in this cup. Maybe I will try to do what I was going. I don't know. This thickens up pretty fast. I don't have a lot of time with this coating resin. Otherwise, I would quick do the other ones, what I was going to do, but I didn't really plan that out to do it right now. So I may have to just pour this in something else. You guys are going to end up with this massive long video today. I have no idea how long it has been yet, but it is longer than normal. I forgot to wash these down with alcohol first. Oh my gosh. See, you guys? That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you just have to walk away. So I'm just going to keep popping the bubbles. There's a lot in here. Let me see if I can... No, that's not going to work either. Never mind. I have to figure out something to do with the rest of this and keep adding to the edges because I didn't wash them and it's repelling. So I'm just going to add a little bit here and there before I use this for something else. And it's repelling on this one. It could be 1, I didn't put enough on, or 2, because I didn't wash them down. So those are pretty much the reasons your resin will repel. And I'm hoping it's because I didn't put enough on. So let me catch you up to where I'm at. So as you saw, I wasn't thinking because the resin was getting so hot, I just poured it into my little bear mold. Because it is tabletop resin, it has to stay thin or it flash cures. There's no way around it. It was so hot. This isn't as bad as it can get. Actually, I was able to save the whole piece. Just the bottom was all bumpy and boiling and it was fuming. But if it gets really, really bad, get it outside because it can, like, I don't know if it can explode or not, but it would get super hot. So don't use tabletop resin in a mold. That's why there's different resins. It has a specific purpose and you're supposed to keep it. But because I wasn't thinking and today's that kind of day, yeah, it flash cured. So those of you who don't know what a flash cure is, you just watched it. It will boil, literally boil. Usually it'll turn it yellow. This one didn't. I doused it with glitter and it'll boil over, it'll fume, it'll smoke, whatever. This had a very, very, very little reaction. It could have been much worse. So I saved him anyway. So this is, you know, Mr. Gentleman going to Mother's Day dinner, and he brought a bouquet of flowers for his mother, and he wore his best hat, and he's got his little heart in his pocket, and that's him. So he's very happy he was salvaged. And then this guy was poured, the blue was poured a while ago. I've been waiting for something to pour the rest of him, so I used the rest of it and poured the rest. So he's got the little glitter. This is full of rainbow shimmer. And then I blinged out his shell because he was really boring and I didn't like him at all, but now he's super cute. That took a long time. I did not expect that many rhinestones to fit on his back. So he's done. These came out so pretty. So the edge I needed to cover, and I thought those pearls would look beautiful. So not only do you have a beautiful coaster, it will hold the water in if it like sweats, if your cup is sweating. So these are the two. So what do you think about that kind of save? I mean, they're really pretty. I don't know that I would have just left them the way they were. They definitely needed something. So I don't know. I kind of like them. I'm kind of glad I finished them. So for the other two, I need to clear my counter because I'm going to do something I don't usually do unless we're making a charcuterie board with wood. So I'm grabbing 2 jars. I painted or primed. I covered them up because they were horrible and there was nothing I could do to fix them. But look at all those holes. I didn't realize there were so many holes in the surface from, I don't know, the crackling maybe? So we're going to cover these, but we're going to flood coat. I'm not going to top coat. I'm going to flood coat where the resin pours over the edges. But first, I do need to tape the bottoms because I don't want to fix them. So just grab you some tape, or liquid latex works too, or Elmer's glue if you want to wait for it to dry. I don't want to wait for it to dry. I'm ready for this to be over with. You hear my dog's over there? He wants to play, and it's not playtime. So I'm just going to cover the backs. That way when they do drip over, because I'm going to make them drip over, we can get a clean cut surface off the back. And I am going to marble these, and I think I'm going to do black, white, and gold. So let me get these finished. I'm just going to take my knife or scissors or whatever and cut around this edge. Maybe I'll take my scissors. Cut around the edge as close as you can. You don't want any resin pooling on your tape. So make sure you get it as close as possible. There we go, just like that. I'll do the other one, and then I'm going to mix up the same tabletop resin because it gets thick really fast. And if starts, obviously it's going to start dripping off. I want it to stop dripping very quickly. So let me finish these, and then I'll come back as soon as I've got my resin mixed and ready to pour. I mixed up 3 ounces and I just used my ocean white for most of it. I used a tiny little bit of black, like tiniest bit, and a tiny little bit of gold. This is mica powder is the gold, and then the black and the white is just pigments. I didn't want the shimmery effect that a mica powder was going to do. So what I think I'm going to do is treat this kind of like a charcuterie board. I'm going to get this all wet with resin so it slides over the sides very easily, so it doesn't like go there and get stuck and not go over the sides. So you want your sides to have resin, plus this has holes on the top, so I want all those holes to, I don't know how this is going to end up because of those holes, but I'm going to just, I've never done a coaster with a flood coat. I've only done, you know, like the river boards and things. But I can't imagine it's much different than a river board. It's just on a smaller scale. Now hopefully all those little holes, it's mostly what I'm concerned about, is those holes getting filled in. And I'm going to just pour this with white until it drains over both of them. That's why they're up on jars, so they don't like stick to whatever your surface is. I'm just going to push it out to the edge, help it go over the edge. Again, this tabletop resin is very thick and it needs coaxing. And this one needs a little more. See, it's not just going to go over without help. Now once I have it all over these edges, I'm going to go ahead and pour in my black and some gold. First, I'm going to torch. And I'm just going to let them drip. It doesn't matter if it drips over because we're going to clean up that from, and this I'm just going to do that. And it's going to kind of stretch itself as it gets pulled over the edges. And if I need, there's a little white that I need here, I'm just going to keep doing the white and the black as I need it. And I do want some gold in here. Not a lot, but almost looks like zebra stripes. And I'm going to tone it down again with some white. And just keep going over it as you like. Like I said, it's going to move, it's going to push, it's going to pull. And that's what I want it to do. And then as you heat it up with a torch, it's going to move even more because you're getting it watery. And that's it. We're going to just let it do its thing, and I'll show you what they look like in the end. They're finally done. This has been the longest day of my entire life. So, as you can see, my table is a disaster, but that was to be expected because it was all dripping over. But as you can see, I saved all of it as well. But with the white, I just mixed in some pinkish purple, and I made a couple starfish magnets, put some magnets on the back. So those were the extras for that. And what I did is I scraped all that marbling because it was still marbling, and I was able to make some really super cool marbled pendants, two keychains, and a pair of earrings, and the earrings came out the best. So I tried to salvage the marbling without getting it all muddied together, and I just glued on a little heart on those. So those are the extras. Again, I have so many pictures to get you at the end. Okay, so what I did, I learned a couple things about flood coating your coasters. When we flood coat a board, the sides are always curved. These sides had 90-degree angles. That didn't work out great. And check these out. First of all, look at how cool they came out. I took a my heat gun and moved it around, got it kind of abstract, and then I just let it cure. But because the sides didn't drip properly because of that edge, it was really hard for it to go over. I did scrape some edging off, and then I had to cover the edge. So that was my fix for the edge. I still think they are just stunning. I had no plans on doing this today at all, but look at them. These are super cool. I'm gonna have to flood coat more often. I just love them. I do. I really, really love them. And a little bit of bling on the side. It wouldn't be me if there wasn't bling. So, guys, thanks for joining me today. I hope you learned lots of lessons because I really did. Give that paint a try. I know it's me because I seen Jane do it and hers worked well. So it's definitely me. I may come back to it in a future video if she shows me what I did wrong. But until then, check out these end pictures that I got for you, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Everybody have a blessed day. Bye.